Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's 6:45 a.m., June 28th. My name is Amal. I'm going to do a quick Bitcoin and crypto wrap up. Didn't really see a whole lot of movement Saturday, but we got decent downside earlier on in Saturday. And so I want to dissect that a little bit and see if we've actually made any changes to the structure. Okay, so let's go to the smaller time frames. All right, let's go over here, dive into the 1 hour. So yesterday I was pointing out to my Advantage members that we were seeing this kind of descending triangle forming right at the bottom of this trend. And more often than not, when you start seeing descending triangles at the bottom, okay, especially in Bitcoin, these have a higher statistical probability of breaking down. And that's pretty much what happened. You could even see price actually came smashed up against the bottom of the triangle once and not doing it twice. So it's possible that we start breaking down from here, but I'm looking at it in a couple different ways, and I'll show you exactly how you can see this as a potential long opportunity as well as a shorting opportunity if we start squeezing up here around 9.2 or 9.3. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, so on the 4 hour, okay, when this red candle happened right here, I let my Advantage members know that this was a potential bullish SFP candle. Okay, SFPs are swing failure patterns. Basically what happens is, you have a previous low and the next low actually pierces below that low. However, it does not close the candle below that low, as you can see. All right, so this candle closed up here while still having poked down here. Now, what does that tell us? Well, it gives us an idea that, okay, well, we went all the way down here, collected potentially some long side liquidity, and then started to push back up, right? So this could have been your potential longing opportunity with the stop just below this area. And the places you start targeting are, again, the base of this previous area before we smashed right through, or the point of breakdown, which is right around this area, which is around 91.50 or so. All right, or you can go as high as way the heck up here, which is a key support and resistance level, the June monthly open. Okay, the June monthly open is, of course, quite important because you could see it was a base of support all the way over here, and then it sort of became resistance right there, kind of fake out, push back around. Again, we had a bit of a fake out up here and then dump. So I think that June monthly open is still a key area where, there's a good amount of volume transacted. So we could maybe make it up there. And that's around 94.45. So if you're still looking at potential opportunities for longs, you can buy in right here, 9,043 where price is, stop just below this wick right here. And you can aim for at least 91.50, which is the point of breakdown, or 94.45. Okay, let's look at this in ranges, right? So it's easier to kind of look at this market when you start drawing out ranges. And I've told you guys before, especially my Advantage members, that when you start drawing out ranges, key SR levels, as well as channels, it helps you identify the price action and momentum much better. So let's check this out. So if we go on the 2 hour time frame, okay, now this was really the bottom of the range. Okay, this first low and then the first high. This is typically how I define a range. If I get a nice clean low and then a clean high, and then I see price piercing below that area, but again closing above it, just like the SFP that I just showed you earlier. So remember, this is a low, this is a lower low, but we actually close higher than this wick low, right? And so this was definitely your SFP, bullish SFP, and then we push back all the way past the range high right there. And even this was your bearish SFP, where you push past this high, but then quickly retreat back under. Okay, so there's different ways of looking at movements in the market, especially in ranges. Once you understand that just because a price goes below a key level that you are watching doesn't necessarily mean it's bearish. And just because a price goes above a level that you are watching doesn't mean it's bullish. So understanding these fake outs and deviations are critically important in not getting trapped in a position. but waiting for confirmation. So when we were looking at this market in terms of the larger range that you see, right, between this high and this low, okay, what you see is over the weekend, we see a breakdown below that range, okay, range low. However, we pushed back and reclaimed ourselves back inside that range, which is that range low right there. So this kind of tells me that if we do something like this, so what I could see is maybe through the day, we do, this is what we've done so far. We push back a little bit, maybe put in a higher low, and then start climbing back up, at least towards this 91, 95 key SR level, maybe towards this weekly open. And this is the weekly open that opened on June 21st. That's right around 92.88. So you could maybe take some long positions from where we are right now with a stop at least below this area or at least below this wick. Aim for this first target, aim for this second target, maybe this 94-ish 100 level, okay? Now, alternatively, let's just say you don't want to scalp long, right? You want to focus on the bigger price action, okay? Well, the bigger price action at play right now is, in my opinion, still this larger thing that we're doing right now. Let me see, pull up this chart. So way the heck from back here and pretty much, all through this May and June thing, I've been calling how this whole thing to me looks like a larger form of distribution. And I think finally we're starting to get a bit more quietness out of the bulls. So that means we're probably putting more and more people into pain. We're probably exhausting a lot of the bulls. So I can definitely see that we're pretty close to starting to break down, because those last bulls are going to sort of help capitulate this price down, okay? So I'm fairly confident that we should start breaking down soon. We are entering July, right? So I figure maybe in the first week of July, we may have one more surge up, maybe to 92, maybe 95, 9,600 at most. Again, that's if that's going to happen, and then start breaking down, okay? That'd be the last place where I would figure that bulls, again, get a little bit excited, but then get trapped in their positions way the heck up here, while still the structure will maintain, this key high, lower high, and then maybe another lower high structure. And the larger form of this whole thing, I've stated how this looks like a Wyckoff distribution, or this is your UTAD in phase B. This is your last point of supply, and maybe we start breaking down from here. Okay, my previous videos have shown that. Let me see here. I think if you go on our YouTube channel, Alpha Trace, make sure you hit subscribe. It's somewhere there. I talked about Bitcoin and its distribution. So I think it's this video right here. So make sure you all go check it out. But yeah, those are my thoughts, when it comes to looking at Bitcoin in its distributive manner. Let me see. Oh, so here's another way you can look at price action in the larger time frame. Okay, so I've talked about this blue line over and over again, 92.25, which is the marker on BitMEX. All right, it goes way the heck back here around May or June 2019. You can see right here, very close to a rejection right there, pulls back, consolidates a little bit right there, and then pushes up, right? Once it pushes up way the heck up here, you can see it comes back here, support, again, over here, support, and then finally it breaks down, right? And then over here, it kind of chops around the area. Once it tests that area as resistance right there, it sells off. So the reason I'm mentioning that specific marker to you, this blue line, is because it's a key SR level that goes way the heck back into June 2019. And so if you look at the price action right now, okay, notice how cleanly it has been utilized as support resistance, right? You can see right there, 2 wicks that pierced right into that area as resistance, okay, and got rejected. Once we finally broke through, we had a big shove back down below that area. Again, we broke through it again, utilized that area as support finally broke through. And again, then resistance right there. So you can see all across the board, then this area, and by the way, This wick is only isolated to BitMEX. On most exchanges, this wick actually stops right around $9,200, $9,300. All right, so I'm gonna say this is definitely a key SR level that stopped right around there. And you can see support, support, support. Finally, we broke through it. So what you wanna see in the next coming days is you wanna see movement towards this area, maybe a breach past it, and then a close back under. And that would effectively signify that, okay, well, we're not able to reclaim this area. It might be time to start breaking down. This is where, in my opinion, if you are spot long or you have decent long exposure, not financial advice, but I would cut it. I would definitely cut it, and I would consider hedging or going short. With a short stop, you know, wherever this thing stopped, we have a stop above here or stop above here. But again, you know, if you feel like I'm wrong and you think we're gonna just keep going up from here, then be my guest. Be long and stay long, okay? And there's, you know, nothing wrong with being long. I'm just saying that if you're starting to see structural weakness and the signs are visible and you're ignoring those signs, chances are you're gonna pay the price. So keep an eye on this marker, okay? 9200s. It doesn't have to be 92.24 exact, but just keep an eye on this marker. Watch for movements up through it, fake outs above it, and then start seeing price collapse back down. That would be your sign that, all right, well, you know, it's goodbye time for the Bitcoin bulls and, you know, hello time for the Bitcoin bears, all right? And that would effectively signify at least a movement down towards, if we're looking at just high volume nodes, there we go. High volume node, so we're holding this high volume node right now, which is 8788 area. And the biggest high volume node is way the heck down here around $7,100, $6,900 area, okay? So as I've said before, you know, this is what you wanna pay attention to, right? These high volume nodes, these key SR levels in the larger time frame. And then, you know, of course, the pivots themselves, which, oops, let's turn that off. Let's lower that a little bit. And now you can see price also on the local time frame has broken below the pivot, right? We have not closed a single candle below the pivot until just yesterday. We had a full open and close of the entire daily candle yesterday. It's also possible that you get towards that pivot and start rejecting, which is around 9,200 flat. All right. I think I also talked about Ethereum pretty much leading the way down. Let me see here. Yeah, so ETH also had its descending triangle playing out, and I mentioned to our members that ETH is probably leading the way down before, where the heck was it? Before this whole thing right here happened. I think we were somewhere around this area in Bitcoin before we broke down. So I was paying attention to ETH itself breaking down. So I let our Advantage members know it's time to start being careful. And so some people got short, some people cut down their longs. So you got to be able to pay attention to markers like this, you know, to ensure that you're de-risking your positions or at least hedging your positions in some way. Let me see here. There's something on my Twitter that I reposted that I do want to mention. All right, this is a BAT. There's a lot of different cryptos, especially this whole DeFi thing that's going on, that have hit key resistance levels. And while everyone has started to become more and more bullish, literally right at resistance, this is really the time to start being careful, right? Because as people start to get more emotional and less technical in looking at the markets, it's usually time to start de-risking, start hedging, or start taking profit. And so with our Advantage members, I had already told them that if you're looking at Link, you should be taking profit from 450 to 475. Obviously it went up to 494. Who the heck cares in the longer time frame of things? Once this thing starts breaking down, then you'll realize that taking profit at that 450 to 475 level was very important in looking at this from a resistance, and a resistance standpoint, just a multi-month resistance level, right? And then same thing with BAT, okay? So BAT is moving a significant amount of tokens to the exchange itself. And it's time to be careful. You know, you don't get this kind of movement of tokens to the exchange, in my opinion, to do anything else other than sell. Okay, and then BAT itself has made such a fantastic move to the upside, whether it's the USDC pair, as you can see, right? Again, piercing right perfectly at the key resistance level. Look at this. This is a key SR level going back to April 2019. You know, you can see support, 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 turns around, breaks through, resistance, resistance, deviation right there, resistance again, and resistance again. So this is where you should be taking profit, in my opinion. All right, but that's pretty much it, guys. I covered that, covered Link, covered Ethereum a little bit, covered some positions in Bitcoin, right? I told y'all to start being careful. And if you simply want to look at this, like I said, from the range standpoint, you know, if we throw this on like this, you know, you could kind of look at some areas where Bitcoin could squeeze above these and these areas. I don't know if it's going to get way the heck up here. But if you just look at this in a ranging standpoint, it could definitely squeeze out short stops above these two X's, and it can even get to the range high up here and still be bearish because you still have, you know, your high and then your lower high. Okay. All right. Hope y'all enjoy that analysis. Again, in about 2.5 hours or so, or actually 3.5 hours, we're going to have the equities analysis live session. Make sure you come join. It'll be on our YouTube channel. We have just 2 more days left of the 50% off membership. So if y'all want to join, still available to you. And then after that, it's going to be full prices again. Okay. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Cheers.